Hey everybody, welcome back to the Race 5 Smokehouse and Grill, and today we are making this monster 11.5 pound pork loin on the Weber Smokey Mountain. Let's go! All right, everybody, let's jump right into it. We have this 11.5 pound pork loin. This thing is a beast. First thing we're gonna have to do in order to get this to fit on our Weber Smokey Mountain is I'm actually gonna cut this in half. We're gonna make two different pork loins essentially. And one of the main reasons is because they're gonna cook a little differently. This one's a little wider and thinner. This one's a little shorter and fatter. It'll be good to separate these two pieces so they cook at their own pace. And on top of that, we'll be able to get it to fit on our Smokey Mountain. So let's get this cut. We're gonna find a good center point, one where this one kind of tapers in at the most, so we're gonna be right about here. Got that bad boy separated up, looking great. We're gonna cook this fat side up, so I always like seasoning the opposite side first. So we're gonna go ahead and hit this with our seasonings. We're using Memphis mud from Pork Mafia, which is one of my favorites. And we're gonna give it a second layer of the Heath Riles garlic jalapeno rub. To me, this combo is fantastic. Lots of great flavor and lots of great color. So let's season it up. And like any big piece of meat, you wanna hit it liberally. You want to make sure everything's coated nicely. Get in all the nooks and crannies there. This pork line's pretty lean and doesn't have a lot to take off, which is nice. It's an easy trim, easy cook. These sides are seasoned, flip it over. Just like everything else, same on both sides. Don't forget the sides. Now we gotta make sure we hit these ends well here. These are seasoned up. We're gonna give it a few minutes to let that rub really adhere to the meat and set up. And when it looks nice and wet and tacky, that's when we're gonna put it on the Weber Smokey Mountain. So now's the time to go get that WSM fired up. Today we are using Jealous Devil lump charcoal with a few pieces of hickory inside. We're gonna hit it with a little chimney of started charcoal, get that fire going. We put this all together, and today we're using the fire dial in here. We're hoping to get some of that good dripping flavor as the meat and the juice renders. It's gonna hit that fire dial and impart another great flavor to it. So let's close this up, let this come up to temperature. We're gonna try to shoot between 250 to 275 for today's cook, and we're gonna cook these till they're about 145 to 150 degrees internal and pull them off. Let's go get that Weber Smokey Mountain fired up. Grill is up to temp. We're rocking around 240 degrees right now, and again, looking to hover in that 250, 275, 240 is okay. We're gonna get these on right now. I'm keeping the vents on this Smokey Mountain open maybe a third, a quarter of the way, and that's how we're keeping this temp. We're gonna try to keep it low and slow, even though I think this is gonna be a fast cook because we're gonna, like I said, only go to about 145, 150 internal, and it's a super lean cut of meat. So let's get these pieces on. Give them a little form there, because that's how they're gonna cook and set up. These are looking great, they are on. I'm gonna stick a temp probe in them and maintain temperatures. Maybe spritz a time or two, we'll see if it needs it. So let's close her down, and we'll check in about an hour to see how they're looking. So we're about an hour in on this cook, a little over about an hour and 10 minutes. We're maintaining that 250, 275 range. We're right now at 270 for the grill ambient temperature, and we're at about 110 internal, so we got a little bit more time on these pork loins. Let's go take a look and see if we need a spritz of water. These are looking delicious and coming along great. It is starting to look a little drier on the surface here. That's okay, we expect it. Let's go ahead and give it a little spritz of water. We're gonna go ahead and close this up, let it keep rising until about 125, and then we're gonna glaze it. We're gonna be using Big Wick's pepper jelly with one of our favorite barbecue sauces, and that's gonna give a great glaze and a great finish. So let's close it up and we'll be back in a little bit when it's time to glaze. These pork loins are cruising along. We've got an internal temperature right around 130, 133. So it's time to go ahead and glaze these. The glaze we're using is basically 50-50 mix between the Daigle sweet habanero barbecue sauce and the big Wick's Texas pepper jelly. This combination is fantastic. My mouth's watering just thinking about it. All right, let's go open this up and get these glazed up. We're closed up, we've got it glazed. Next thing we have to do is just let it come to temperature. Pull it off. That temperature we're shooting for is 145 internal. Once it hits that, we're gonna pull it off and let it rest for about 15 minutes, half an hour. Then we're gonna slice it. We'll be back when it's time to slice it up. These pork loins are done. They got up to 145, 146 internal temperature. We pulled it off the grill. We gave it a loose tenting and we let it rest for approximately a half an hour. Let those juices redistribute. Now let's take a look at what we got going on here. These look absolutely amazing. This glaze on here, my goodness, this looks so good. And it smells amazing too. All those flavors playing together so well. I'm gonna pull one of these off. We're gonna slice into it, see how it tastes, see how it looks. Now this thing is perfect. Give it a slice right down the center, see what we're working with here. That's perfect. Perfecto. I love keeping that little fat cap on there. Oh God, that looks amazing. Cut a slice off here. All right, let's take a bite, see what we're working with here. You see that juice just dripping off of there. Perfectly cooked. The key really is to let your pork loin get up to 145 or so, because this is tender and juicy and delicious. You got a lot of that great smoke flavor on there, but not overly smoky. The pepper jelly glaze and that Daigle's rib sauce, amazing. Tastes phenomenal. The rubs, everything plays together perfect. So if you ever give this method a try, let me know in the comments below. If you like what we did here, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, check me out on social media, and we'll talk to you all later. Thanks everybody, peace.